Yeah, so I mean, that's actually, I mean, it's sort of directly related to my previous point about wanting to take your own practice, take things that are important to you, and continue to expand the circles that inform the way that you work. So, research is, I've come to use this term a lot. I really appreciate it. It's from two scholars. So again, it's taking something important to me and putting it in a broader context. So one way to do that is to read. And there's a really great book called Situated Learning by Jean Lave and Etienne Wegner. And in this book, they talk about this idea of communities of practice. And I've really come to love this idea of communities of practice. I try not to even use the word culture anymore. I try to, instead of saying culture, I try to say communities of practice.
Mhm.
Um, and so research itself is a community of practice, right? It has its own norms and its own behaviors and its own language. So as I said before, it research is one community of practice that allows you to expand um, the sort of the framing and the types of interactions that you have and the way that you move deeper into your own work. So for me, research has been very important because it gets me reading more, right? So one of these things, so as you join this community of practice, you have to like learn what conversations people are having in
Right.
that community of practice, right? It's like going to a cocktail party and you're like, ooh, what are people talking about here? And
Right.
it's so wonderful to go, like you said, like being with other people because you have to bounce your ideas off of them and their ideas inform you. And so when you become a researcher, you're sort of joining that conversation, and everything that you're thinking about then is, sometimes those conversations happen across decades as you read much older work, or sometimes they happen across years as you publish something, but then you hear from someone else a year later how your work influenced them. So it's this sort of disconnected, asynchronous, long-term conversation that might even go back thousands of years as you read, you know, literature from a long time ago. So
Right.
you're joining a conversation, and then the other part um, of this is that research, in a really broad sense,
Mhm.
simply invites you to slow down and think about what's important to you in a more systematic way,
All right.
right? That there's so many things that we do, we get caught up in the world and the world around us and our practice, and we just are like, well, this is how it's always done, this is how you do it, this is what this means.
Mhm.
And research is a place that invites us to say, well, wait a minute, maybe everything I've thought or everything I've assumed isn't exactly right, or maybe I need to rethink it, or maybe it's changed. So for me, that primarily is what I have appreciated about research, is this invitation to join a community, to be part of an ongoing dialogue, and also this invitation into slowing down and thinking more deeply about the things that matter to us.